Boom, yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, Atypical Security Guard. Hey, I am coming to you today with a very, very, very important stream. This is for my new security guards. Listen, if you're an older security guard, if you've been doing this for let's just say if you've been doing this for 2 years, if you've been doing this for 2 years or more, this stream is not for you. It is. It's not for you specifically, but I want you also to listen to what I'm saying, because listen, all of us need to be humble enough to learn. Even me. That's why I work with mentors, why I listen to those people who have walked the same path that I choose to walk before me. I try to take that advice. I try and take that information. And so if you have been working in the security industry for a couple of years, you feel pretty confident, you feel pretty solid in what you're doing, please feel free to listen. Feel free to kind of, take all this in. But this is for those new people who are coming into the industry in 2024. What kind of tips can I give you? Well, today I'm going to give you 5 tips of the security trade. And this is New Guard Secrets. Guys, I'm not going to keep you any longer than I have to. Let's get right into it. Number 5 is knowing your role. Not just knowing your role, but knowing your role is key to an easy shift. The amount of guards that I have worked with that have made our job harder than it has to be absolutely blows my mind. Guys, if you're working in a security capacity, we are put in a position where we have, we're working for a company that signed a contract that is very specific. I don't care who you're working for. I don't care what city you're working in. I don't care what area of town you find yourself posted up at. The contract, whether your company has the contract or another company that you're working for has the contract, these things are so detailed. Everything about what you are supposed to be doing, what's expected of you, all the way down from the time that you're supposed to arrive to work, when you're supposed to clock out, how long your breaks are going to be, all the way up to the interaction between you and any potential subject. It's all laid out. Some of the jobs that you're going to work are going to be very, very simple. Sit at this desk, check in these people, give them this badge. Make sure you get the badge when they leave. Some jobs are going to be stand at this door, check this receipt, right? Very, very simple. And everything is going to be detailed. It is up to you as a security guard or security officer, however you want to say it, to stay within the lines. Everything that you need to know about working in private security, you learned in kindergarten. Follow the rules, be nice to others, ask permission, and keep your hands to yourself. Very, very simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Know your role. Now, listen, if you're working in a capacity where, the contract has you going hands-on, the contract has you retrieving product, the contract has you moving transients or vagrants, the contract has you doing more of a law enforcement adjacent type role, then so be it. The importance and the onus is on you as the officer to know what your role is, what the post orders say to do, and then follow that and follow it to a T. Guys, if you do that, you will find that your shift is a lot easier and a lot safer going forward. Number 4 is going to be relationships are the foundation of your entire existence. Now, when I say that, I don't mean relationships between you and the potential subjects in and of itself, but all across the board, the relationships that you have with your supervisor, with the owner of the company, if you're able to know or meet or have conversations with the owner of the company, depending on the size of the company, that might vary. The contractor of the person that's holding the contract that you're working for, the people that you're working with, whether that's your partners, whether that's people at the location that you're servicing, and then definitely the community of the people that you're dealing with. I have been very, very critical over the last couple of weeks on this platform talking about law enforcement. I've talked about the issues of, over policing, of police brutality, a lot of those hot button topics, and that kind of stuff. It tends to rear its head in situations where there's not a relationship between law enforcement and that specific community. You as a security guard, whether you're working at a grocery store, you're doing a mobile foot patrol, whether you're working, in the capacity of a parking garage or a parking lot, whatever it is that you're doing, you have to know the environment and the people that are in that environment where you're working. I would say that it is even more important for a security guard, because for a security guard, you have so little backing for any type of enforcement that you might be doing. And then also you're on an island, you're completely by yourself. You don't want to be in a situation where you're setting yourself up to have odds with the people that you're dealing with. You have to build those relationships within your company, build those relationships with the contractor. And then definitely, if you're in any sort of situation where you're dealing with nefarious people, you have to build that relationship with them. I have lots of videos on the importance of that and how you can do that as well. Number 3 is that you don't have to win. This is the absolute beauty of private security. We don't have to win. Situations where you are trying to remove someone from property, situations where you're trying to get, a tenant in an apartment complex to turn their music down, situations of 2 people involved in a domestic, whatever it is that you're doing, working in a security capacity, when you make that approach and you make that request for the person to stop doing whatever it is that they're doing. As a security guard, there is a certain point at which you can tap out. Tap out in what? Tap out, call the police, and tactically disengage. There is a point at which our level of authority, our level of enforcement, our level of getting someone to give us compliance, it reaches a limit at which we can go no further other than violating our post orders and potentially violating someone's rights, right? You can't go hands-on in every situation if the opportunity is not there. So as private security guards, we have this beautiful opportunity to tactically engage from situations where we're not gaining compliance, and we call the cops. And at that point in time, once we've called the cops, it is incumbent on them to show up and do the next thing. Now, in between the time between your calling the police and the police showing up, if that subject does something that puts them in a position to where now you have to address that action, now we're back in the game. And this is a great thing about our industry that allows us to not be in a situation where we're constantly having to win. We don't have to escalate the situation. We don't have to push it to another level because we have to gain that compliance. We can either get this person out by doing our job, or we can get this person out by allowing the police to show up. And in the in-between, if that person does anything and everything that puts them back on our radar for us to legally, lawfully, and by our post orders address it, we can do that. That puts us in an amazing position. And I love that position. I love it. I love that I don't have to escalate that situation and I can deal with it from one of those 3 positions. Beautiful thing about private security. Number 2 is that you have to be trained enough to be safe. But you also have to be aware enough to not place yourself in situations where it isn't needed. The 4 walls of the location that I work at are amazing to me, because I know that within those 4 walls, with all of the training that I put myself through, with all of the things that I think about, with all of the information that I try to learn and digest and put into my work as an officer, my goal is to get that person, when they are doing something that has put them on my radar, outside of that door. I'm trained enough to defend myself if I have to get into a hands-on situation. I'm trained enough, I feel, to respond to a situation where I have to use less lethal or lethal means. But I do anything and everything that I can to not put myself in a situation where I have to employ those things. Now, are there times, are there circumstances, Are there situations that any of us as officers could find ourselves in where it's go time? We have to send it. There's no other option. Of course. But things like distance, proximity, de-escalation, having a foundational relationship with people in that community before it goes south, all of these things are so important. This is one of the greatest trade secrets, is that you can put pennies into the jar. When you go to that gas station and it's got the need a penny, take a penny, got a penny, leave a penny little jar there, right? And there's times where you're 10 cents short and there happens to be a dime there. Sometimes if you're lucky, there's a quarter. Working in private security, you have the opportunity Monday through Saturday to put that penny, that dime, that quarter into that jar, so that on the day that you got to pull that quarter out, it's there. You've built up the karma, you've built up the relationship, you've built up the equity with the people that you're dealing with. Guys, that is the biggest tip that I can share with you, and one that I would say has been instrumental in keeping me from being in situations where I have to harm someone, or someone actually follows through and harms me. Very, very important. Number one, guys, look, if I can offer you a piece of advice as a new security guard, the biggest battle you're ever going to fight on any gate, I just said any gate. Scratch that. Let's try this again. That was a Freudian slip. The biggest battle that you are ever going to have to fight on any given day, is what I was trying to say, is your ego. The issues that you're going to deal with your boss, your supervisor, your company, they're going to come down to your ego. Issues of pay, whether it's a bonus, whether it's an increase, a raise, issues of promotion, whether you feel that you should be in a management position, for me personally, a trainer position, right? Situations where other companies open and they offer you opportunities to maybe jump ship and join other companies. Situations where the people who hold the contract, maybe they say something to you that rubs you the wrong way. Maybe they tell you how to do your job, right? Definitely issues of dealing with people on a daily basis. The subjects, the people that are on the negative spectrum side of the people that we deal with. They're going to call you out of your name. They're going to threaten you. They're going to tell you that they're going to be waiting for you when you get off. I know what car you drive. I'll be waiting for you. I know your family. I know what your wife looks like. I know where you live. You're going to hear all of these things, guys. And the quickest way to find yourself caught up in the game is to allow your ego in any one of the circumstances that I just laid out to take front and center. If you can always take a deep breath, count to 10 in situations, whether it's with your company, your supervisor, the contractor, the customer, or the lowest dirt bag, take that 10 seconds, take a deep breath and tell yourself, okay, put the ego in check and deal with this person from a professional standpoint. If you can do that, you will find so much success, not just in private security, but in work in general. My biggest downfall, my biggest problem over the last 20 years of employment, all the way back to being in the military, I have never, until I feel recently, been willing to put my ego aside to do what is best. Best for business, best for the circumstances, best for myself. It took me a long time to get to a point where I could swallow my pride and put my ego to the side. If you don't hear anything else that I ever say on this channel, control your ego. I get it. Guys, I get it. I don't like being talked down to. I don't like being mistreated. I don't appreciate people gaslighting me. I don't appreciate people calling me out of my name. I don't appreciate people talking behind my back. I don't appreciate people undercutting me. I don't appreciate it. I'm a very proud man. And I will go to the depths of the earth to prove my point. And at the end of the day, I have proven a lot of points. I have gotten my point across to more people than I can count on both hands and both feet. And in every situation where I've been successful in proving my point, in every situation where I've been successful in letting the other person know that I was not that guy to be fucked around with, I've ultimately lost. I've lost the job. I've lost the promotion. I've lost the money. I've lost the opportunity. I have won each one of those battles only to ultimately lose the war. And I don't want you guys to wait until you're 45, 46, 50 years old to understand that losing the war is not worth winning the battle. Control your ego. Okay? So those are my top 5 tips for the security trade for 2024 for new guards. Okay? But also for some of you old dogs who are out there who are still humble enough to listen, to take some advice, even if it's from someone who is only given that advice from a position of having failed before. Okay? Drop your comments, your thoughts, and if you feel that you're getting any value from what we're doing, guys, please like, share, and subscribe. We need more security guards, in my opinion, to hear this kind of stuff. Okay? And they're only going to hear it if you share it. Okay? If you guys are working, be careful. Make sure you watch your back, watch your six, and as always, be great. All right? Y'all be great.